Okay, fourth graders, so we are going to review our double-digit multiplication today. As you can see, I have written 45 times 23 on my fancy speckled paper here. And notice that I put the larger of the two numbers, the greater number, on the top. It's just a really good habit to get into whenever you're setting up math problems that are vertical on top of each other. Okay, so looking at here, thinking about what digit am I going to start with? Remember that I always go down to the ones place. And I need to take this number that's in the ones place in the bottom and multiply it by the number that's in the ones place above it. So 3 times 5. 3 times 5 equals 15. Now to write 15, I'm going to put the 5 down here, just like we do when we're regrouping for addition. And then I'm going to carry the 1 up here because the 5 goes in the ones place in the number 15 and the 1 goes in the tens place. So I'm keeping my tens place lined up here. Okay, so I've done 3 times 5. Now I need to stay with this 3 and multiply it by the number that's in the tens place up here. So instead of 3 times 5, I'm going to go 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. I have a 1 up here that I need to remember to include. And remember that we add that in. So we multiply and then add. 3 times 4 equals 12 plus 1 equals 13. Now we talked a lot about this year. When I write 13, I can't put two digits in the tens place. So I can't squish a 1 and a 3 here. I have to make sure that each number is in its own separate place. So notice that the 13 actually goes into the hundreds place here. And that is because technically we were multiplying 3 times 40, which would have been 120 because the 4 is in the tens place. You don't have to remember that, but just to kind of help it make a little bit more sense. Okay, so we are done with the 3. We've multiplied it by both of the numbers on the top. So now we have to go over to the number that's in the tens place here. And we're going to do the same thing with this too. However, we can't put our answer in the ones place because this is technically 20 times the numbers up here. So because of that, we have to put our placeholder. Sometimes we've made those into smiley faces just to kind of help us remember them. So we put a 0 in the ones place. Okay, so looking at this 2 times 5 equals 10. I have to decide where I'm going to write the 10. So the same thing that I did above, I'm going to put the 0 down here and carry the 1. I actually should have crossed off that one at the beginning because as soon as you use one of those numbers that you've carried, you should cross it off so that you don't accidentally use it again. Okay, so I put the 0 down here in the tens place and the 1 has been carried. Notice that the 1 is still being carried in the tens place. That's one of the weird things about when we solve a problem this way, but it will end up going into the hundreds place. Okay, so I did 2 times 5, and I have to do my last one here, which is 2 times 4. I'm kind of creating this little bow tie here. 2 times 4 equals 8, but I can't forget to add that 1. 2 times 4 equals 8 plus 1 equals 9. And I'm going to put the 9 right down there. If it would have been a double-digit number, I would have needed to put the number that would have been in the tens place, quote unquote, of my answer over here. But it wasn't, so I just have to put the 9 there. And then remembering that whenever we're multiplying, we're always going to a larger number. That's what multiplying is all about. So if you ever are confused and you're not sure if you should add or subtract in this step down here, just think about which one goes with making a bigger number, because that's what you want. You want to get a larger number. And of course, that's adding. 5 plus nothing, or 5 plus smiley face, or 5 plus 0, however you want to say that, equals 5. 3 plus 0 equals 3, and then 9 plus 1 equals 10. Again, we're not going to squish 10 in the hundreds place. We can only have one digit in each place. So we'll put the 0 in the hundreds place, and then that 1 from the 10 goes over in the thousands place. Finally, in order to make sure I have the correct answer, I need to make sure I have my comma in. We always count over 3 digits from the right. 1, 2, 3. Kind of like those hops when we were doing our metric conversions. It's the same kind of thing. So my answer is 1,035. All right, guys, good luck.